So let's start with our feet just inside shoulder width apart. And I'm just going to take a big deep breath in all the way up to the ceiling, taking my palms up, looking up at the top, turning the palms and pushing the palms down as if I'm pushing up through the water up to the surface of the water for my breath. Let's go breath in. Let's think about that for a moment, and then breath out to push those arms down, reaching up the crown of the head to the top surface of the water. Breath in and breath out. Lovely, breath in, breath out. 2 more. So as I'm lowering my arms, I'm really thinking about trying to lengthen the top of my head up even taller, sending my tailbone down. Last one. Big breath in, let everything lift up, turn those palms, pushing down, activating the muscles around the shoulder blades and coming all the way down to there. From here, I'm going to bring my feet in a tiny little bit closer, so hip width apart. And we're just going to transfer our weight from side to side and take a knee fold. And you have to take everything over from one side to the other. We're going to build on this as we go through. So thinking about the tissue box, that rectangle that you've got on your torso, made up of the 4 corners of your shoulders and your hips. Thinking about the sides of your tissue box as well, keeping even, so there's no shortening. Your tissue box is nice and pristine. It's not in the reduced basket in the supermarket. It hasn't got damaged in transit. And we're taking that lovely plumb line, that central line, all the way over so that we're really secure when we're standing on one leg. Let's hold one leg up. As you take that leg down, you're going to take your arms up and you're going to breathe out. So let's have a breath in here and then a breath out to take the arms up. Breath in to lower the arms, lift the knee on the other side. Breath out. Breath in. So completely opposite to your natural breathing. Breath out. Breath in. You will revert back to normal if you lose concentration, as I'm doing. Breath in. Breath out. So you've either got the arms up or the leg up. Breath out. So as you're taking that breath out, think about the rib cage connecting down to meet the hips. Think about lifting your pelvic floor. When you're lifting the leg and breathing in, try and grow even taller. Breath out. Let's do one more each side. Breath in, breath out, breath in. Similar principle from your feet completely together now. We're going to slide one leg out to the side. The opposite arm is going to reach up to the ceiling. Really sideways on so that you're creating this lovely diagonal line. This is your breath out and then a breath in to grow tall and swap sides. So your challenge now is to keep that tissue box, that rectangle square without allowing any twisting to happen in your hips or your shoulders. Taking the leg completely out to the side. Again, sides of the waist, sides of your tissue box are staying in the same shape. Breath out, breath in. You can't really lift this leg too high, and you might be starting to feel some work in the butt. You can lift it high if you turn it out or move your pelvis, but I want you to stay really parallel to your front. And again, although the feet are closer together so it's easier, we're shifting that plumb line from one side to the other. Your torso stays absolutely in the same position. It's like you're a mannequin in your body. One more of those, all the way out to the side. Great. Let's come back to hip width apart and just take some reaches up, just about 4 of them, looking up, trying to touch the ceiling, lifting the rib cage off of the hips, hold everything up, just check where that weight is, pitch forward so that you can tap both heels, and then lower the arms, lower your eye line, think of this lovely length in the spine, Span your fingers and thumbs far apart, like you're doing your piano scales. Thumbs are touching my ribs, little fingers reaching my hip bones, and we're just taking a mini hip hinge. So prepping the body for the big movements that we're about to take in a moment. So we're about to take some squats, some lunges, some diagonal lunges, some turned out ballet plies. And while we're doing that, I want you to try and keep shoulders, hips square to your front, and also keeping your back in its natural curve. So just hold that back there. So notice the weight is in your heels. You should be able to lift up the whole of the front of both feet without too much change. Feeling, using your hands to check that nothing has changed in the shape of your torso. Both sides are even, lower back curve is there, the rib cage is drawn down. And in fact, if you are braced and here, and then you try and take a roll down from here, so just taking that chin onto the chest, that bit's absolutely fine. If you then try and take the next stage of your roll down, which is where your shoulders collapse forwards, if you truly braced and lengthened in this spine, you can't actually go anywhere. It's like you've stopped, because you don't want those ribs to collapse over. You don't want to let your lower back round out. You don't want the shape of your vertebrae to change. So you want to stay nice and solid there. Good, so let's take that mini hip hinge, as I call that, into some narrow squats. So feet are narrow, as the name suggests, hip width apart. So we're sending the bottom back, always thinking about the beginning of your squat and the end of your squat is that hip hinge. So there's the hip hinge. Then you bend the knees and the ankles more, keeping the chin tucked in, looking down at the floor, coming up. Oh, there's my first rhyme of the day, I think. Haven't done a little rhyme for a while. So keeping the back of the neck long, making sure if I go sideways that the knees are staying above the ankles. And again, my weight is back in my heels, coming all the way up. And let's challenge ourselves more. So you've got the squat, I'm looking in the mirror, everything is parallel and symmetrical. As I come up, oopsie, I'm adding that knee fold. So significantly more challenging. And if you want to work even harder, lift the leg off before you start to come up. So if you're not feeling too strong today or everything's a bit tired, just come up pretty much on both feet and then lift the leg. When you lift the leg, you will transfer over to that one leg. If you want to work harder, transfer over and then come up on the one leg. Significantly harder, that is actually. I'm transferring over and pushing down. You'll really feel the work on that standing leg. Let's take the feet a little bit wider. Just outside your shoulders now. Turn the toes out, turn the legs out slightly to the corners. Same thing, dropping down, coming up. So breath in as you lower, breath out as you come up. So we're getting the body nice and warm, especially getting the legs warm. Reiterating that functional movement of the hip hinge, thinking about our deep squats. Let's add a knee fold now. So because I want you to finish on one leg, you're pretty much going to shift over quite quickly. Make sure when you get there, you could stay there. So there, and lift and hold. Breath in, breath out, and two more. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Good job. Okay, let's turn those legs out all the way in the hip socket. Feet nice and wide. Heels quite far apart. You'll each have your own different position for this. Some people are more used to it than others. If you take any ballet classes, then this will be more comfortable than if you don't ever do that sort of thing. Very different feeling now. We're keeping the back completely upright. We're still hinging at the hip, and we're still in good alignment. Knees are over the toes. Try not to tip forwards. If your the toes are coming in a little bit more, that's absolutely fine, as long as the knees go over the toes. If you can only bend to here, equally fine. We're aiming for the thighs parallel to the floor, but that might not be available to you right now. It's absolutely fine. Do what you can. Just try and keep that chest up. If anything starts to hurt your knees, just be careful. Make sure your alignment is perfect. Let's stay down there for a moment and lift one heel and lower the heel. Lift a heel and lower the heel. So when I talk about the alignment being perfect, make sure it's really, you're in really good alignment. If the knee is already wonky, or if your habit or you've got an injury is to be out of alignment, and that's where that's like your comfort zone, that's where you've been for many years possibly, to put it into good alignment is going to be uncomfortable. But if you want to have a healthy joint and for it to last as long as possible, then it needs to be in good alignment. Otherwise, the wear and tear will ultimately mean that you can't use it. So, taking one heel up at a time. This is quite strong on the legs now. Let's try both heels and push down. Both heels and push down. So thighs are burning a little bit. Absolutely fine. Let's take those arms out to the side. Draw the shoulder blades down. Raising the heels, but not changing the height of your body. Strong work on those legs. Let's try 4 more. And 3, and 2, and 1. Push those heels down, hand coming up, and have a little rest there. So really tough work on the quads, those ballet plies are, where you turn the legs out, but your squats should not be tough work on the quads. They should be getting the back line of your legs firing up, your buttocks especially. We're going to go into some lunges. I've turned this way just so that I can use my mat as a nice measure, my yoga mat. So we're going to take some backward lunges. So just nice and easy to start. Keep the chest upright, exactly the same as the one we've just done, our ballet plie. Bending the knees equally, bringing the foot forwards and swapping legs if you can. If this is too much for you to keep stepping back and you want to just stay on one side with the support of a wall or the back of a chair or your kitchen worktop or wherever you're doing your workout, this is absolutely fine. Just practice this bending and straightening. Make sure your weight is in the middle. Make sure your legs aren't on a tightrope. So you're here. You're not here, sorry, it's too difficult to balance. You want that back leg, as you step it back, if you're doing the stepping version, make sure it goes a little bit wider so that you're hip width apart at least. Slightly more stable will be to go slightly wider than hip width apart. The narrower you are, the narrower that base, the harder it is to balance. So I'm brushing, brushing that back knee on the floor now. Go that low if you can. The main thing is that this front knee doesn't go over those toes, it stays above the ankle. If you can, let's add on to here with a good old knee fold. Put the leg down, dropping back, lift and lower, drop back and lift. Breathing, keep that breathing nice and even. So your focus as you're coming up is to push down through that front heel. Think about your tissue box as you're doing this. Try not to deviate from that beautiful square position, facing forwards. Let's do 2 more, 1 more each side, or I've started to lift the leg at the beginning now. Just adding a bit of extra on, I don't know why. Take that knee back and lift. Good, that's One more of those, one more of these things to do, which is our diagonal lunge. Sort of a lunge, except that the leg that you leave in the middle of your mat, so I'll come back to this way again so I can use the space. It just helps me to work out where I am on the floor. The leg I'm going to leave in the centre is going to stay straight. The other leg is going to turn out slightly to the corner, making sure my knee goes over my toes. My hips and my shoulders, my tissue box facing forwards. Come back to the centre, to the other side, back to the centre. Maybe pop your hands on your hips. So because this is the second time I've done this class today, my knees are feeling a little bit twingy. And that's fine. It's because I'm doing it second time round. So you might find over the next couple of days that your knees are a little bit twingy. So the important thing is listen to your body. If it's too uncomfortable, first thing to do is to check your alignment. So if every time you do this, if that knee is rolling in or the ankle's collapsing or there's a displacement in the hip or something, then you are going to aggravate any problems there. But if you can, once you've checked that alignment, just do what you can without there being pain. A little niggle is fine, but too much pain and it not going away is the time to stop. So let's add on to that last thing. Guess what? Coming back to a balance is quite hard. In the centre, lifting that knee, pushing off. So there's a big old transfer of weight here. And I'm using my arms, just don't worry too much about it. I'm using my arms quite naturally. Bringing that opposite arm forwards, thinking about tissue box. To the corner and come up and swap and come up. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to combine all of those movements. So I'm going to come forwards a little bit. I'm going to stay facing this way. In fact, I'm going to bring my mat forwards a little bit so that I've got that corner to aim for. So from the feet shoulder width apart, I guess, let's take our squat first of all. This is the only one where we're going to be on both legs equally, facing forwards. Lift the knee, take it back into a lunge. Same leg, lift the knee. From here, take it out to the corner, lift the knee, place the foot down. Swap sides. Squat, lift the knee. All the way back, brush that knee onto the floor if you can, lift the knee. Out to the corner, lift the knee, hold it there if you can. Let's do 4 more of those and then we're done with this exercise. Nice deep squat, keep that chest up, lift the knee, taking the leg back, lift the knee, out to the corner, lift the knee, hold, and down. Squat, lift the knee, take the leg back, lift the knee, out to the corner, lift the knee, hold 2, 3, 4, down. 1 more each side. Squat, lift the knee, take it back, lift the knee, out to the corner, lift the knee, hold 2, 3, 4, down. Last one, here we go. Squat, lift the knee, take it back and lift the knee, out to the corner, whoopsie, lift the knee, and I managed to recover there. Didn't actually put the foot down, holding it and putting the foot down. Brilliant, okay, well done. So, little combination there. Lots of work on the legs, hopefully you're nice and warm now. My heart rate is definitely up. Let's mobilise the torso a bit by taking some chest and back lift. Start by lifting the chest, looking up, find those legs with your hands, unravel your spine all the way down, roll back up. So this is mobilising your whole spine. It does what it says on the tin. It's a chest lift for that upper back, arching. And then it's a back lift here. Strongly tuck that pelvis under. Lift the chest, stick the bottom out, relax down. Couple more. If you want to, take the arms up and over. Arms down by your side, relax down, roll back up. 1 more. Lifting up, arms by your side, relax, and roll back up. Great, flowing side bends. Let's take the feet nice and wide. In steps parallel, reaches up just 4 times. Try and reach up your non-natural side. So hold both arms up. The rib cage is lifted off of the hips. Everything is lifted up. Lower the eye line. Lower one arm. We're going to take 3 side bends over to the side. So 1, 2, 3. Holding it here for a moment. Relax the knees. Relax all the way down. Let that head hang. 3 times. Straighten your legs. Stretching your hamstrings. Soften the knees to relax. 2 more times, straighten, relax and soften the knees. Breath out when you straighten, breath in when you relax, and roll up through the centre. There's that same stretch we just did. 3 more sets of this. Up and over. On the other side, not the end of the world if you go the same way. 3, 2, 1, and relax down, straighten. And just soften the knees. It doesn't have to be a very big bend. Make sure that your head is hanging. You should better nod the head, shake the head, rolling up through the spine. 2 more, here we go. Try and brush the ceiling before you go all the way over to the side. Keep the legs still, keep the feet equally weighted. Hold this one here, stretch down that side seam, relax, bend the knee. 3 times straighten and bend. Feet are nice and parallel, rolling up through the spine. Last one, here we go. Over, breath in if you're taking the breathing, breath out. In to grow taller, to lengthen, to lift the ribcage off of the hips, relax all the way down, and straighten, and bend, and straighten, and bend. Then rolling up through the spine.